Are you stupid or something?
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
Yes, it is, Forrest. Stupid is as stupid does. Howdy, folks. It's Nito with AP 2020 Outdoors. You know, every time I get on the Facebook reloading groups, I just get inspired to cut another video on reloading and beginning reloader mistakes and beginning reloader questions. I think, what the heck, never mind, this just ain't worth it. But I'll tell you what, this morning I had quite the doozy. We'll get to that later on in the video, but anyways, you know, I'll cut these once in a while on my YouTube channel. I'm going to put a link in the video description on a video that I cut several years ago regarding your water case capacity. And it's something even, quote, expert reloaders probably don't even realize. I did not realize it myself until I actually got into my Quick Loads predictive reloading software and started playing around with the numbers. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So I have two mason jars. These are ball 1 quart wide mouth mason jars. Externally, they should have the same exact dimensions, one would think. However, if we took our trusty calipers or ball micrometers and started taking measurements on the wall thickness of the jars, you're going to find some variances. Same thing goes with brass cartridges. So you could have two different brass cartridges. In this instance, the 8.6 Blackout. This is my newest cartridge I've been working with. Externally, dimensionally, they could have the same dimensions. Case dimension at the neck, the shoulder neck junction, the shoulder case body junction, the body taper, the case head, the web diameter, the neck wall thickness, all of those parameters. However, I can promise you, from manufacturer to manufacturer, and even from case lot to case lot of brass manufacturer, the internal dimensions are different. So here's my load data for my 8.6 Blackout, and I'll just briefly go through the different 4 pieces of brass. I have Peterson small rifle large rifle primer, 45.8 grains. Gorilla large rifle primer, 46.6 grains. Hornady large rifle primer, 44.7 grains. ADG large rifle primer, 43.7 grains. And if you look at the charge weights, there are varying charge weights to attain about the same 1,052 to 54 feet per second. Now, why is that relevant? Well, it's relevant because if you look at back in the day when I started reloading in 1988, there was no internet. The only resources we had were reloading manuals. And if you look at any given cartridge, at the very bottom in semi-fine print would always stipulate start 5% below the levels and work your way up looking for the basic pressure indicating sign. And I always thought to myself, why do that? Well, obviously for number one, safety reasons, but number two, getting back to the water case capacities of different brass. Typically in the reloading manuals, the data actually stipulated which brass manufacturer, whether it was Winchester Western or Federal, they would actually stipulate the brass manufacturer because they knew, as I know, as some of you now know, brass case capacities varies widely from manufacturer to manufacturer. So getting back to the Facebook reloading groups, and for that matter, even internet talk forum reloading groups, you'll get a newbie beginning reloader get on there and say, hey, I got a 6.5 Creedmoor and I want to load a Hornady 100 whatever ELDX bullet. I've got Hodgdon H4350 powder. What's a good load, you know? And every time I see that, I just cringe. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, here we go. And the biggest problem is that if we go back to our case capacities, if you notice, the Gorilla has the largest case capacity of 46.6 grains, whereas the ADG has the lowest case capacity of 43.7 grains. And if you look at the charge weights, the Gorilla is 16.8 grains and the ADG is 16.1 grains. That's a 7/10 of a grain difference. That's a huge difference in powder charge weight for assuming that the case capacities are identical. So just in simplest terms, let's go back to our mason jar example. We got two mason jars. Let's say this one in my right hand has a brass wall thickness of 1/2 an inch. Okay, I'm going to grossly overstate this, so hopefully you'll understand it. 1/2 an inch here. This one is 1 inch thick. Which jar is going to hold more water? The one that is 1/2 inch thick or the one that is 1 inch thick? Well, obviously the one that is 1/2 inch thick is going to hold more water because the walls are not as thick as this one. Something to think about. Your internal water case capacity makes a huge difference in the pressure levels. Once again, I'm going to reference back to the the importance of knowing your water case capacity video I cut several years ago. I went into quick loads and I actually started varying the water case capacities of a 5.56 or 223 round. I held the powder charge constant, but I moved up the case capacities up and down and then noted the delta, the change in the pressures. And the pressures vary greatly with just very small, I think I was varying the case capacities by 0.3 of a grain. So whenever you all ask for load data on the internet, whether it be Facebook, reloading chat rooms or groups, or on the internet chat rooms, just remember this. The water case capacity of brass varies. And you cannot rely upon somebody's load data, okay? I'm going to say that one more time. You cannot rely upon someone else's load data to be a safe load in your rifle. Okay, the second thing, the one thing that actually tipped me off this morning, I've got 2 different bullets here. Copper bullet, and I have a traditional lead core bullet. Actually, these bullets weigh the same. Now, the person on the Facebook reloading group this morning noted, I think it was a 454 Casull, and the bullet weight I think was 250 grains. Well, they got on the Hodgson website and they found that for a 250 grain bullet, it was so many grains of Hodgson H110 powder. Whereas they get on the manufacturer's website and looked at the powder weight, and there was I think it was like a 1.5 grain difference in the actual charge weight. So I did some investigative research myself and actually I put in the same data on Hodgson's website, and as I scrolled up, I realized that this person it's not even the same manufacturer's bullet, okay? It was a different manufacturer's bullet. The same weight, you know, both 250 grains, but not the same bullet. I didn't mean to insult him, but I just kind of called him out. I said, listen, man, you need to educate yourself, okay? Just because a given bullet for a given caliber has the same weight, all bullets are not created equally. That's huge, and that's such a fundamental, and it kind of scares me that some people don't even realize that. And you know what? Some of you guys need to step back from the reloading bench and either get online and start reading the basics of reloading, and or find a reloading manual and just read the first 2 or 3 chapters, you know, because all of this, what I'm telling you, most of it is in there except for the water case capacity. But a lot of the basic fundamentals are in there, and you need to educate yourself. You know, I understand that you guys get on there and you're like, primers, powder, cases, bullets are so expensive now. I don't have the time nor the money to work up a load. Well, if you don't have the time or money to work up a load, then maybe you should try to figure to do something else, because reloading is not a game that you can just, you know, scoff at and think, oh, well, you know, I can rely upon somebody else's data to start with and I should be fine. That's the most further from the truth I could say. All right, folks, so listen, I'm off my soapbox. So I just wanted to cut this video this morning. Remember, support that Second Amendment. We'll see you later, and I thank you.
God, what's your sole purpose in this army?
To do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
God damn it, Tom! You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted, Private Compton.